OC. Viewer discretion is advised. Incoming transmission in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I believe in Outcasted. Yes! Welcome back, guys, to the NXT review from Outcasted. I am Reese, as always, and wow, what a week. What a week for cameos, debuts, whatever the hell you want to call it. NXT was absolutely on fire this week, especially with the first portion. I am so excited to talk about NXT this week with you guys. It was absolutely amazing. Plenty of notes for you. So before we get into it, I just want to say leave a thumbs up if you've just found the channel and subscribe if you want to see more of our videos. But first of all, we have got the Battle Royal to get into, and none other than say his name. He appears. Joe Hendry is in NXT. He is here for the Battle Royal. He says that he's finally arrived in NXT and everyone's going to find out and everyone's going to be chanting, I believe in Joe Hendry. He's going to be going for the NXT Championship. The Battle Royal starts and he's immediately eliminated by Frankie Kazarian. It was a nice little cameo. It was great to see him there. It was nice to see that the WWE was paying attention to all the buzz, everything, because obviously we all wanted him in WWE. We all wanted to see that, with this TNA little crossover, we all wanted to see Joe Hendry inside those ropes. Speaking of Frankie Kazarian, really good showing in this Battle Royal. I thought for a minute he was going to win. I love Frankie Kazarian. One of my favorite indie guys. Just an absolute legend when it comes to TNA. Everywhere. Kazarian, amazing. Him and Christopher Daniels, one of my favorite tag teams back in the day. Joe Hendry is eliminated by Frankie Kazarian. There's so much action going on in this ring. Like I say, you have got Hendry, Kazarian. I feel like there's a few other people from TNA that are in there. You've got Dragon Lee. You've got the whole of the NQCC. You've got Eddie Thorpe. You've got a lot of people. You've got Javon Evans that are in there. You've got Ethan Page, who isn't actually eliminated at the start of the match, but he is kind of taken out of the equation by Aura Mensa, who when they start fighting and they go all the way backstage. We will get to that later on in this episode because that isn't the end of the story. Now, there is a point in this match where it goes awry a little bit for the NQCC as Damien Kemp accidentally eliminates Charlie Dempsey, who is then distracted, obviously, by what's going on the outside. He's apologising to Dempsey when all of a sudden Kazarian comes from behind and eliminates the rest of the NQCC. Really, really cool to see. Like I said, it was nice to see that Kazarian got a nice little showing in this Battle Royal. Javon Evans surviving all the way until the end. Tony D had another really great showing in this match, but he was eliminated by Nathan Frazier, who is then eliminated by Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee also makes it near to the end. So it's, I believe, Dragon Lee, Sean Spears, Frankie Kazarian, and Javon Evans. I believe that's the last four. It was chaotic. I can't remember, okay? The winner of this match, however, is Javon Evans. He is able to eliminate Sean Spears, who people thought was supposed to be eliminated a couple of minutes before, but he actually just went under the ropes and he never was eliminated. But it didn't come to fruition, unfortunately, for Spears because Javon Evans comes out with the win here. Later on in the night, we will see him again against Ethan Page because Ethan Page has a little bit of a gripe with what happened in this Battle Royal. But after this match, we do go backstage to where Lola Vice is talking to Roxanne Perez while she's training, saying, later on tonight, we're going to go take care of business. I'm not going to pretend to be your friend. I want the NXT Women's Championship, and I will KO anybody who gets in my way. While we are backstage, Fallon Henley's arguing with the rest of the locker room, saying that she deserves a Women's North American Championship match. Nobody else. She's the only one who deserves it. All of you have been here for 5 minutes. She's been here for a long time, and she is really the only person who should be in the conversation for a Women's North American Championship match. Now, I kind of agree with this. I'm not going to lie. Fallon Henley has been there for a while. Fallon Henley is solid in the ring. Fallon Henley probably is one of the people who deserve an NXT North American Championship match. Like, where's the lie? Tell me the lie. And there's something that goes on later on in the show that makes me kind of be on Fallon's side even more, to be quite honest with you. We stay backstage where we have some great news for Ridge Holland. He is finally in Chase U. He is given the Chase U jersey. It is official. Duke Hudson looks to be turned around. He looks to trust him. Riley Osborne is not there. He's still in the UK, apparently, according to Vic Joseph. So he's not there to have a problem with Ridge Holland being in Chase U. There is someone who does have a problem with him being in Chase U, however. It is the OC who walked past and says, look at you, Ridge. You used to be a brute, and now you're just a nerd. Now, obviously, because he is in Chase U, Duke and Andre Chase stand up for him here and say, listen, if you've got a problem with Ridge, you've got a problem with all of us. So that sets up a match later on tonight, tag team match. Duke Hudson and Andre Chase of Chase U versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson of the OC. I thought it was interesting the way this match kind of got set up. Not really sure why the OC have a problem with Chase U, but the OC seems to have a problem with everyone lately, so, you know, it is what it is, I suppose. Going back to Javon Evans that I was talking about earlier on in the night, we see him getting congratulated by Ava in her office, saying, you know, you deserve it, like, you know, don't thank me for putting you in there. It was all you. That was all you that did all of that work in that match tonight. Ethan Page bursts in. He's absolutely furious, saying this Battle Royal is technically still going on because he was never eliminated from there. He calls Javon Evans just a punk kid. And Javon Evans says, I've got another match in me. I may be a punk kid, but I've got another match in me later on if you want it. Ethan Page says, yes. That becomes the main event. Ava is happy with it. The main event is Javon Evans versus Ethan Page, which throws up a whole load of questions. Will Javon Evans still be the #1 contender if he loses to Ethan Page later on tonight? Or will Javon Evans be able to see off Ethan Page and we'll have no more of all ego talking about Trick Williams? Let's see how that turns out. It turns out pretty good. I'll just give you that little that little spoiler. That's the word I was looking for. We now go to something else concerning the championship. We have the first Women's North American Championship defense for Kalani Jordan taking on Mia Yim. Now, I've got a few issues with this match. Number one, didn't really live up to the hype. Thought it could have been a lot better, to be quite honest with you. But that's here nor there. I did, however, feel like it should probably be in the main event. I mean, it's the first ever defense of the title. You want to make Kalani Jordan look credible with that championship. You put her in the main event. Am I the only one who thinks that? Like, let me know in the comments. I thought this should have been the main event. However, like I said, the match didn't really live up to anything. The OC were out there. OTM, as in Nima and Price, come out and distract Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. They're having an argument. While this is going on and the referee is concerned with what's going on with these two teams, Jada Parker knocks Mia Yim off the top rope. Kalani Jordan does not see this and hits that split-legged moonsault that looks so beautiful for the 1, 2, 3. She retains the championship. Mia Yim is obviously not happy with losing the title. Losing a title opportunity. She's obviously not going to be happy with Jada Parker, so we're probably going to be seeing more from Jada Parker and Mia Yim in the future, which I am absolutely fine about. Speaking of people who are not being happy with people, Axiom is not very happy with Nathan Fraser, because apparently Nathan did not tell Axiom that he was going to be in that Battle Royal tonight. He was also unhappy with the way Nathan was looking at the Heritage Cup last week. Nathan is a bit confused about this. He says, I don't know why you're not happy about it. If anything, why wasn't you in the Battle Royal with me? And yeah, I was looking at the Heritage Cup. I wanted a shot, I wanted a shot at the Heritage Cup. I want to be, more than what we are. Axiom takes it the wrong way and says, so being the, the tag team champions isn't good enough for you. Nathan says, no, that's not. While this is all going on, Robert Stone walks in with a contract and offers a Heritage Cup match for Nathan Fraser. It's already been signed off by the Don of NXT. As we know, Nathan Fraser eliminated Tony D'Angelo earlier on in the night in that Battle Royal. So Tony D feels like he deserves a Heritage Cup match. Nathan Fraser signs for it. Axiom just still does not look happy, to be honest with you. I'm not really sure what Axiom's problem is. I'm not gonna lie. I don't get it. Obviously, he's going to take up a opportunity. Obviously, you want to be more. Not sure why Axiom wasn't in the Battle Royal. I feel like that's more of a him problem than a Nathan Fraser problem, to be quite honest with you. I'm not going to lie. We now go to the ring, and this was a bit of an awkward segment. I don't think it flowed very well. Obafemi, the NXT North American champion, comes out and says, this is starting to feel familiar. Every time I get a challenge, I knock it down, I come out, and I am still your North American champion. So my question is, who is next? Who is the next person to fall? Wes Lee comes out. Obafemi does not look happy about this. Wesley comes out and says, listen, you didn't pin me at Battleground, and you know if it was one-on-one, I would beat you for that North American Championship. Obafemi looks like he's going to say something. Like he says, like, you know, it's starting to be irritating Wesley coming after the championship. But Obafemi looks like he's supposed to say more in this segment, and he looks like he just forgets his lines. I mean, that's fine. It happens to the best of us at the end of the day. So, you know, Obafemi forgets his lines. Wesley looks like he improvised on the spot, and he says, you know, people going around calling you the greatest North American champion of all time. You're hyped, you're buzzing, you're going viral right now. People like Big E are calling you their favourite superstar. But we all know who the real greatest North American champion of all time is. You know who's in the record books for all these stats, and it's me. And I want that North American championship back. At this point, Obafemi like walks away, and Wesley just gets absolutely furious. He says, don't turn your back on me. I want another shot of that North American championship. Obafemi says, fine, you can have another shot of the North American championship, but here's the deal. If you lose this match, you will never get another North American opportunity at me again while I'm still the champion. Do we have an accord, Wes? And Wes says, that's fine by me. I'm interested to see this because, in my opinion, I don't think Wesley needs a North American Championship anymore. I don't think Wesley even needs to be on NXT anymore, to be quite honest with you. So I kind of want Oba to win this. I don't want Wesley looking weak or anything like that, or, you know, I don't want Wesley missing out on opportunities, or like, how do I say this? I want Wesley to look strong, but I don't think he needs a North American Championship. I think he's past that now. Obafemi needs a North American Championship. He's still building his legacy. They're still trying to make him look strong, powerful, like a dominant force on NXT. So he is most deserving of that championship, whereas Wesley, like I said, just doesn't really need that championship, to be honest with you. I would love Wesley to move up to the main roster, but like, let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know in the comments. We now go backstage to where Hank and Tank are talking. Who really cares? Tank had a pretty decent performance in that Battle Royal, but I don't really care about this. Apparently, Hank Walker is cleared of a shoulder injury now, and now they want to go after the NCR, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, and I'm like, I don't really give a shit, to be honest with you. I don't care. Let's just move on because it was just a nothing segment. This is funny though, what we're moving on to here. So the NQCC, as we know, I tried to get Tavian Heights from last week. Damon Kemp and Charlie Dempsey were watching the screen. Charlie Dempsey said to go and get him to Miles Bourne. So he did. This week they're talking. Charlie Dempsey says, do you know why you're here? Tavian said, no. Charlie Dempsey then turns around and says, well, Miles should have given you a heads up with what's going on, why you're here. Miles should have given you some kind of insight. And he's like, Miles, why didn't you tell him? And obviously Miles is deaf, and Dempsey isn't looking at him while he's talking to him, so he doesn't get any answers. So he has to punch him and goes, Miles, why didn't you tell him? And Miles is like, well, I didn't hear anything. Bless him. I love this segment. It was very funny. Charlie Dempsey says, we want you in the NQCC. He lists off all of his accolades, like a Division 1 champion, like he was a prospect for the Olympics or something like that. And he says, do you want to be in the NQCC? And Sabian says, yeah, of course I do. And Charlie says, oh, you like to keep your hands, your cards close to your chest. I like that. I tell you what, here's a bit of an incentive for you. If you beat Damon Kemp next week, then you are in the NQCC. And Damon Kemp's like, what? Charlie's like, well, you deserve this for what you did in the Battle Royal last week. So even though that Tavian has said yes to joining the NQCC, he still has to prove himself to join the NQCC. I love it. I love this whole Charlie Dempsey trying to be like a mob leader, and he kind of has no idea what he's saying. He's just taking little things that he's learned from Tony Dean. He says he's capacious. He tries to look like a serious businessman, and he doesn't really know what he's doing. So we now go to the ring where we get Fallon Henley versus Carly Bright, that cheerleader that NXT apparently loves so much. She's a good athlete, to be fair. I'll give it to that. while this match is going on, it's a solid match, to be fair. Fallon Henley, like I said, one of the best people in NXT in terms of the women's division right now. Carly Bright is a big prospect for me. I think she's very impressive in that ring. I think she's got a big future. While this is going on, Wendy Chu comes out and chokes out... I don't know who it is. It's one of Carly Bright's friends. I don't know her name. She comes out and chokes her, and obviously that distracts Carly. Why can't I talk? This distracts Carly. And it gives Fallon the opportunity to get the advantage. She hits the Shining Wizard onto Carly for the 1-2-3. Fallon Henley surely now should be in the conversation for an NXT North American Championship match, right? Right? That should be a thing, right? Apparently not. Because we go backstage a little bit like later on in the night, and I'll just talk about it now before we get to the Eddie Thorpe bit, where Kalani Jordan is talking to Ava and saying, you know, I want to give the North American Championship opportunity to someone who doesn't ask, who never complains, who always like kills it out there. Before this ends, Ariana Grace comes in and says, oh, thank you so much for thinking of me. This will be an amazing opportunity. I think it's great. Kalani says, well, actually, I was thinking of Sol Ruka, not you. Ariana Grace, like, tries to say positive, and she's like, oh, okay, yeah, Sol's amazing, but she really just belongs in the beach, and I'm just so much better than her. It's kind of funny. And she's like, it looks like she's about to go insane. Ava Raine makes the match for next week. Sol Ruka versus Ariana Grace. Winner gets a North American Championship match, I'm assuming, against Kalani Jordan at NXT Heatwave. Now, Fallon Henley, in my opinion, is rightly pissed off about this. She's annoyed about it. She just won a match. She really should be in the conversation for the championship. Later on that night, Jasmine Nix and JC Jane like kind of walk up to her and agree that things need to change in NXT. That, you know, enough is enough and it's time for a change, as Owen Hart once said. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But going back to the timeline, we see that Eddie Thorpe is hot and he's... Wait, that came out wrong. Hang on. We see that Eddie Thorpe is talking about NXT. And he says NXT is hot right now. That's what I meant to say. Jesus Christ. You know, he's looking at the Heritage Cup. He's interested about going after Tony D. Maybe getting an NXT Championship opportunity. Maybe getting a North American Championship opportunity against Obafemi. He doesn't really know what to go after yet, but he just knows that he's been on a great bit of momentum lately. And he just deserves a chance to go after that. Just go after any prize, to be honest with you. What happens next? We go backstage now to where Trick Williams is talking to Javon Evans, congratulating him on winning the Battle Royal. It's going to be cool to face him at NXT Heatwave. It's going to be interesting, that match, in my opinion, because obviously for the past couple of weeks we've seen that kind of Trick Williams is taking Javon under his wing. You know, taught him the ropes, you know, got him in the main event. The young OG has been very close to Trick Williams, so that match is going to be interesting for that reason. But Trick tells Javon Evans, you know, you need to go out and fix this Ethan problem. No matter how long he's signed his contract for, to Trick, he will always be an outsider in NXT. He doesn't belong in the company. Javon agrees with him and says he will go handle his business. We now go to where a tag team match, what we was talking about earlier on in the night. Chase U versus the OC. Now, again, this is kind of a nothing match, to be honest with you. It kind of more gets interesting towards the end, where Duke Hudson pins one of the members of the OC with dubious tactics, with a bit of shenanigans. And then later on, Rich Holland says he didn't see anything, and neither did Thea Hale. Like, you know, nothing happened. Like Chase is like wondering why, you know, the OC were complaining after the bell, and they're all like, I don't know, we won the match. Like, you know, it's you know, we beat the OC. Let's be positive. But there were some shenanigans involved. But like, apparently, we're not telling Chase Andre Chase. So you know, it is what it is, I suppose. The Metaphor take on. Well, this is a bit of a confusing match because I forgot that Jasmine Nix and JC Jane were even out there last week. So I was surprised to see them out there, and like it didn't get mentioned until the match actually happened. So the Metaphor taking on Roxanne Perez and Lola Vice versus JC Jane and Jasmine Nix. Again, nothing really much. It was great to see Lash Legend get her licks in. I think she's an absolutely fantastic athlete, and it's only a matter of time, in my opinion, that she gets to the North American Championship match. Lola Vice and Roxanne Perez look good as a tag team. I'm not going to lie to you. Roxanne Perez tags herself in after Lola Vice hits a spinning back fist on Jasmine Nix to hit the Pop Rocks for the 1-2-3. After the bell, they're both celebrating together when all of a sudden Roxanne Perez hits a spinning back fist on Lola Vice, you know, just to say, I still don't trust anybody. Like, you know, I ain't turning my back on nobody. I ain't gonna sit here and pretend that you're my friend, everyone's my friend. No, I'm the women's champion. That is not gonna happen. I mean, she didn't say all that. I put that bit in. Right, let's talk about the main event, shall we? Javon Evans versus Ethan Page. Javon going into this match with hurt ribs. He's kind of beaten and battered, but it's okay because the young OG is going to take care of business tonight. That is what he told Trick Williams, right? Who, by the way, is on commentary. The answer is no, he doesn't take care of business. It's a great match, by the way. Really cool match. But Ethan Page just keeps on getting the advantage in this match by working the ribs, hitting the ribs. Towards the end of this match, Javon Evans is about to go to the top rope. Ethan Page hits him in the ribs and hits the ego effect. Ego spiker? I can't remember the name of his finishing move. He hits the Ethan finishing move, baby, for the 1-2-3. After this, he gets out of the ring, walks over to Trick Williams on commentary and says, it looks like I'm the number one contender. Starts talking trash. He's still coming for that championship. While this is all going on, Sean Spears jumps in the ring and starts beating on Javon Evans. Trick sees this, gets in the ring, starts beating on Sean Spears. Ethan Page gets in the ring, starts beating on Trick Williams. Sean Spears and Ethan Page beating down Trick Williams. They're about to hit a double maneuver on him when all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, Javon hits a cutter on both Sean Spears and Ethan Page. All of them are laid down in the ring. You get the Wile E. Coyote camera, as Jerry Lawler puts it, where they're all looking down. Everyone's down in 4 different places in the ring with the NXT Championship in the middle. Can NXT flag this anymore? Can they make it even more obvious that what's going to happen here is we're going to be getting a fatal 4-way for the NXT Championship? Trick Williams versus Ethan Page versus Sean Spears versus Javon Evans. I mean, that's my opinion. I think that's what's going to be happening anyway. I would quite like to see that. I'm not going to lie. I do think Javon could have a great singles match with Trick Williams, but I want Ethan Page to be, you know, kept in the title picture. And Sean Spears is just there because Sean Spears, I suppose, but he's a solid hand. So, yeah, that's just my opinion. He's a bit up in the air at the minute with the NXT Championship, with everything in NXT at the moment. But let me know what you think, obviously. What did you think of the Battle Royal? What did you think of NXT this week as a whole? Joe Hendry appears in NXT. Who'd have thunk it? Half the internet, because they all wanted it to happen. I'm glad it did happen. But let me know what you thought of NXT. Lackluster on the matches this week for the most part, in my opinion. But the storytelling carried it quite well all the way through the night. And it really just did its job, to be honest with you. Getting you closer to NXT Heatwave. So yeah, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments, like I said. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to Outcasted OC if you don't want to miss a video. Make sure you check out Courtney's review of Monday Night Raw from yesterday. And what an interesting episode of Monday Night Raw that was. Oh my goodness gracious me. The Wyatt family is back. But Courtney's got more to say about that than me. And make sure you stay tuned for Saturday morning, because you're going to get a review from either Ross or G about Friday Night SmackDown. CM Punk returns to SmackDown, baby. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But for now, go follow us on Twitter/X, Instagram, and on TikTok at Outcasted OC if you don't follow us there for the individual content that we post there as well. Links will be in the description as always, guys. But for now, take care. Peace out. I believe in Joe Hendry.